Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Oh, we'll be all right. Yeah, Leonarchus 1, the goalkeeper. Alex Howard 5.
I didn't even Jerry, sorry. All right, Ben, that's good. Yeah, very good. All right, Ben, there's Ben, good. I'll get the ball.
Well, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you're watching. Welcome to Williamstown, right down on the banks of the bay for quite the Dockerty Cup tie on Tuesday night under... Well, it's their second straight home game, though. They return home in Cup action after a 4-1 win over Kingsdomain in the round prior. That was part of a run which saw 6 straight wins to start the season across all competitions, a run which was abruptly halted by Uni Hill at the weekend just gone. Tonight presents opportunity for an immediate rebound as well as Cup run continuation. Old Scotch have had a mixed, albeit meritorious, start to the campaign, unbeaten in their first 4 before falling to back-to-back defeats. Extra time test of nerve against North Geelong Warriors in their most recent Cup clash. They tonight will be hoping for less of a heart stopper and more of safe passage into the Cup's next stage. My name's Ethan Rigg and I'm joined on commentary this evening by Dan Lonergan. First of all, Dan, good evening to you. Welcome to Williamstown. It's gotten a bit chilly out here, but we've got quite the Cup tie on our hands.
We certainly do, Ethan. Thanks so much for having me. I'm actually 5 minutes down the road. I don't mind travelling, and I normally travel a fair way for Chris Gleeson and the team at Football Victoria. But as I say, I live 5 minutes away from here, so it's my back door. Good to be here at Williamstown, a ground that has been done up over the years, involving the St John's Cricket Club, the Barnsworth Football Club as well, and a couple of other cricket clubs as well. And it's wonderful to be here. And as you say, it has got a bit chilly, but looking forward to tonight's game between two sides that have had different, I suppose, preparations for this match in regard to their form in the Dockerty Cup so far. You'd have to say Williamstown have had 3 pretty easy matches, scored 10, only conceded twice, and you mentioned the heart stopper for Old Scotch where they scored in the 19th minute of extra time through Alex Howard. So it should be an interesting game. The other aspect, of course, too, is that they are in South East State League 1, Old Scotch, and Williamstown are in North East State League 2. So there might be a slight difference in talent. But having said that, Williamstown in better form in this competition.
They certainly have been to start the Cup campaign, as these two not just separated geographically, quite the journey for Old Scotch to make down to this part of town as we approach kick-off. Dan, why don't you give us the starting lineups for the evening?
I will do that for you, Ethan. Russell, goalkeeper for Williamstown, and then their other starters tonight will be Friskelzo, also Reed, Matheson's on the bench, but we'll get to him a bit later. Muskevsky, also Babbage. Both Babbages are playing, Ethan and his brother as well, number 10 and number 12. Gallos 13, Milajavoski, I should say, 14, Cant 15, Nash 17, Lloyd 19, and the subs consist of Laverso, also number 2 Morris, number 3 Mazunda, number 4 Barker, and number 9 Aracibia. While Old Scotch have got Leokakis in goal, Howard number 5, Heinemann 32, we almost got killed there, Bukal 35, Valiakis number 6, Mitch Beamish 16, this is their starting lineup, Pellegrino 8, Mohammed Nabil 18, Welford 17, Ivanovic 14, and the bench consisting of Rogman, number 36, also Sam Bosley, the only Scotch student in this Old Scotch team, number 3, Shetty 12, Shahak 13, and Page 11, along with Amendola 15.
Where Old Scotch once more, just to start the season, they currently sit 8th in State League 1 South East. They avoided relegation. The season just gone as well. Williamstown, on the other hand, they're on an early season promotion push, have made quite the hot start in State 2 Northwest, and that's a spearing ball played down the line. Opportunity for Williamstown, perhaps. Babbage was quick to move it on to Kelos, who had a go. It's quite the comfy one. Filiakis in the end, who was happy to claim it. Could have taken an awkward bobble. You know, these pitches tend to do sometimes around this time of year. The first real test of wear and tear for clubs across the state leagues, even though their season is a little bit fresher than those in Victoria's top few divisions.
They're attacking at the western end in this half. Williamstown as Old Scotch getting on the edge of the 18-yard penalty area, and at the social club room's end, a dangerous ball. The defence pretty good of Williamstown. Now here's Old Scotch again as they get the ball out wide, and an opportunity here for Pellegrino, and they share it at the top of the 18-yard area. Getting involved there is Beamish, one of their stars, and then there's a header going back as they got themselves into a little bit of trouble, the Williamstown team, and that was Lloyd, whose header was very errant indeed, and it goes over the byline, so we're going to have the first corner kick of the evening.
A chance for Old Scotch to put pressure on Williamstown early. They've made the brighter start of these two teams. A couple of openings, a bit of uncertainty already forged. Cup evenings like this can prove a tricky away day. They want to make good on an early set piece and give themselves something to smile about. Many loaded forward. Corner taken with depth. It's into a dangerous area. The flick on wasn't fully cleared. Chaos inside the Williamstown area. And approaching just to try and apply a finishing touch on a long venture forward. Old Scotch couldn't quite. Hyman was the one who got up taller than the rest, and although his header found an unfortunate ricochet, and Williamstown survive another scare.
Yes, they do, and we know how well they've performed so far in this competition this year, but a tougher match for them tonight. Early days. Shared at the back. Lloyd getting involved. He goes back to the goalkeeper, Russell. Down the left-hand side, Lloyd looking to keep it alive again. Shared it with Friskelzo, who's a co-captain tonight, but at the back, Hyman is there for Old Scotch. He's under some pressure, as he has a couple of opponents trying to press him inside the defensive half. He shares it with Pellegrino, back to the centre-back Hyman, the Englishman, who follows Lees, but we won't hold that against him. Attacking hard, Williamstown. That wasn't a very good pass at all from the goalkeeper in Luakakis. And they kick into bodies, Williamstown, but it ricochets back at the top of the 18-yard area. And then good defence provided by Old Scotch. And then a clearing ball by Luakakis goes over the sideline. So 0-all early stages in this Dockerty Cup match. Remembering it is an eliminator, knockout. We play full time. If it's still level after full time, we play extra time. And then we play the most exciting part, as far as I'm concerned, in the game, in the world game, Ethan, and that is the penalties. If we get there, it'll be a long night, but we'll certainly enjoy it. One
of excitement and cruelty. If it ends up at a shootout, this cup is famous for it. Opportunity for passage through to the 6th round of the Dockerty Cup. Available for both of these sides. And perhaps an opportunity, if they are prosperous this evening, to face one of Victoria's big boys. And rather wasteful with the throw-in at the moment. Pellegrino, whose clearance was the one that denied Kant from finding a way through, as Bjorn Kant again was happy to nod it back down. It's brilliantly pressed, however. A really scrappy start to this game. Beamish tried to find some cool in midfield. It's cleared only as far as Pellegrino, who will have another go. And this time he sits Kant down. Can't find his way beyond Babbage. Old Scotch just seeming to find their groove. Speared on by Hyman.
Williamstown's defence pretty good early days, Ethan.
Tidy touch taken as an opportunity to go forward for Old Scotch, one which they weren't able to take in full. You mentioned Williamstown's defence has been so far so solid, despite maybe a nervy first assignment. They've had a little bit to do so far. They've been equal to all which Old Scotch want to throw at them.
We've certainly had more territory and more possession so far, as it's tidied up at the back by Russell, the goalkeeper for the Williamstown team. Shared out wide now, and Lloyd has it. Resplendent in blue tonight, the Williamstown team. And the away Guernsey for Scotch. They have to do some work at the back. And that whistle, which is a bit of a screecher, surprised me momentarily, thinking that it may have been involved in what was happening on the field, but let's hope it doesn't cause us too many problems tonight in this Dockerty Cup encounter on this fairly pleasant Tuesday night. Another beautiful day in Melbourne. We know though the Melbourne weather, just wait a minute, it can change, especially during winter.
Certainly hope that doesn't happen this evening.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Ethan, looking at how clear it's been today. A little bit cool now. Long ball, Lukakus inside the attacking half now for the Old Scotch team. Very famous school in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne at Keong, right next to the old Keong Tennis Club. Talking of famous, hosted the Australian Open for many, many years. As they have it now in midfield, and they're looking to control it through Beamish. Unsure where to go though. Good pressure provided by Cant, who scored a couple of times this year for Williamstown. They have to go back to try and go forward. And this is Howard. Howard, long ball, through ball, nothing ball. And stopped comfortably at the back by Russell. It remains 0-0.
And this, for both of these teams, the furthest. They bettered their cup results from last season. Williamstown bid farewell in round 3. They lost 2-1 at Albion Rovers. Old Scotch only went one better. 2-1 defeat away at Banyule City in the 4th round of the Dockerty Cup. Saw their cup run come to an end. How both of them would love the fairy tale and the magic that this cup can afford. Pellegrino's challenge a good one and got an unlucky ricochet.
You just wonder though if any of the teams in the lower divisions can get to the final. If they do, it'll be a marvellous effort, wouldn't it? Considering again it was 2 of the NPL teams that were involved in the final last year, South Melbourne beating Heidelberg.
It certainly was, and it would be a terrific achievement for either of these teams, not just to progress further this evening. They might have a chance at playing the holders should things transpire that way, or perhaps even last year's finalists as well. Either way, they could be eyeing up a National Premier League away day or a Victorian Premier League away day. How both would love, though, to get one of the big boys at home. Creates always the best chance for a cup set.
I was speaking to the Old Scotch boys, and they can't hold a match at home. It'll be against Caroline Springs St George Cross, I've been told, should Old Scotch win tonight. But their ground, which is across the road from the school on Glenferrie Road there, Ethan, doesn't have lights. It used to be the home of the Alamein women's team as well. So that's the problem they have. Obviously, Williamstown have lights, and the lower ranked team, which is fantastic in a competition like this, and we see it of course in the FA Cup, they get to host the big boys, and that's wonderful for their particular team as the Williamstown team try and push it forward through Nasevsky, or Nasevsky I should say, and then they had another look at it once more as they got deep inside the 18-yard area, and they were a little bit betwixt and between the defensive Old Scotch. And Lukiakis will bring it back into play. It's still 0-0, early stages.
Babbage snatched at that a little bit. Chances have been few and far between in this first half thus far.
Look at all the players, as you can see. The great man Magnus doing a wonderful job. They're all sort of hovered just inside the attacking half for Old Scotch. I haven't seen that before. It was interesting the way that the defence was pushed up and the attacking set-up of Old Scotch were well pushed up as well. Obviously, they've got to stay on side, but it was good defence by the Williamstown team.
It's been a story of a resolute defence this evening. And that again was the case as Frascalzo came across. Just as it momentarily looked for Old Scotch like it might break their way.
One of the co-captains.
Ivanovic turns, and then it was given away. The clearance not necessarily a good one, however. Beamish wanting to reload things. And perhaps an opportunity down the far side. Dangerous ball, feast across, and the header was flicked just wide. Williamstown all at sea.
They were. Their defence was caught napping, wasn't it? They didn't get back, and it was left to the goalkeeper, Russell, to have to try and survive that. And it was a good header too by Old Scotch. That's Welford. We had as number 17 wearing number 10 in the crimson boots. So long ball from Russell. Just inside the attacking half. Headed down by Williamstown. The header came from Masevsky. They're getting a bit more of the ball at the moment, Old Scotch, although it's taken by Reed right on halfway for the home side. Pushed out wide to the right-hand side. Corroy Creek Road side here of the Williamstown home ground tonight. Grey reserve, and it's pushed over the sideline. The score remains at 0-0.
First real look of the game, and it was a good one for Welford. Just gave too much, maybe, of a redirection on his header. And let's had it fly wide as Heinemann going to go back for Bukal. A very patient Old Scotch approach.
Bukal, the Frenchman, he's also a hairdresser, I've been told. Don't know whether that's 100% right, whether the boys are trying to get stuck into me, but and give me wrong information. But remembering these guys are semi-professionals, and most of them have day jobs as well.
That's the superb side of this competition too. Get any players from all walks of life. The stories of this cup are also the ones worth telling. An important subplot when it comes to the narrative of the evening, as Babic was searching for Kant and wasn't able to. Heinemann was happy to rekindle it, happy to go back to Leoakis. Old Scotch just wanting to shuffle Williamstown around. They've had quite a bit of joy down the left-hand side so far. And again, Bukal goes out that way. Very tidy take and touch. Babic is in retreat. Still cannot find a way through.
Yes, Williamstown doing well to cover off all the entries inside their defensive half. Nice header. Getting across from Lloyd, has been very solid in defence so far for the team in blue. Williamstown. It's actually purple and yellow, the purple sash with the yellow outfit. I reckon it's an outstanding away strip that Scotch possessed tonight. The throw came in from Pellegrino, and then it was headed over the sideline by the defence of Williamstown. We've had a little bit more to do their defence so far. Of course, he just missed with the header then, Welford, so that was a shot off target, and I reckon had the goalkeeper beaten. As an inside ball comes from Mohammed, and then a long ball off the side of the boot, going nowhere in a hurry. In fact, it was Velikakis who got it to Mohammed, and on the left he missed by a long, long way. That just about went into the social club rooms and was sitting in the bar ready to have a beer. That's how much power and an accuracy that particular shot from a long way out Mohammed Nabil put on that one, Ethan. So still 0-0 as Williamstown try and find a way through.
Again, Babic gave it away. Just recently, Old Scotch have stepped up and have won it more. It was Howard on that occasion. Pellegrino moved it on for Valiakis, who turned tidily. Pellegrino threaded it for Welford. Teasing 1-2. Lloyd's in retreat and had best watch of it. Welford was lurking, forced him into a clearance. But just at the moment, Old Scotch starting to get a strangle on this game. Finding space between the lines more frequently.
Completely dominating possession and also territory at the moment, Ethan.
Welford wins a corner.
And they've had a few corners so far. And the ball living at the social club rooms end.
It's another opportunity to besiege Williamstown. And to give that defence, which has been defiant so far, a bit more work to do, will be Mohammed's take.
The goalkeeper right in the goal mouth there, Russell, as you can see on our screen of our coverage of the Dockerty Cup fixture tonight. Round 5 of the event.
Mohammed's corner. Fist towards the near post. Cleared away well, though it may be coming straight back. Well recovered by Valiakis. Mohammed. Another teasing ball in. 3 were arriving. Welford again got a flick. Ivanovic was lurking too, and neither could find a finishing touch.
Yeah, the defence just being tested, aren't they? Are they getting back far enough to support the goalkeeper, Russell? And Old Scotch having a decent look at it. Both teams resting a few players. Important, of course, for their league campaigns on the weekend. The Batista brothers not playing for Old Scotch tonight. Ball's at halfway. Again, the defence is there to clean up. Heinemann off the side of the boot. Inside the attacking half. Not a bad result, though.
It is worth mentioning as well, the Scotch have that affordability of being able to rotate their side too. Williamstown, not necessarily. It's much of the same, which took to the park against Uni Hill at the weekend.
Yes, very similar team, isn't it?
Incredibly similar team.
Couple of changes, but not many. As the header comes in from Pellegrino, he went backwards. I'm not sure he intended to go backwards. Heinemann's there. Ball's in the attacking half. 2 players go down. That's good refereeing because they both went down together and Babbage wasn't able to control it for Old Scotch. Welford can now, arriving as Pellegrino has an opponent looking right at him. Goes back towards the middle of the attacking half, and missing is Mohammed to the left-hand side. So they've had a couple of off-target efforts so far for the Old Scotch team, as Williamstown look to clear through Lloyd again, but again confronting him is Welford. They have to go backwards, Williamstown, as they're under immense pressure, and Russell tries to clear. And Williamstown got some work to do at the moment. Their final third just not working, Ethan.
Friscosa had nobody forward. Howard just about kept that alive. Steered it back for Bukal, who steered it in the channel and gave Welford one to go after. Friscalzo nodded it for Lloyd. Afforded time to turn was Nashevsky. That's a brilliant ball on for Bjornkan. The flag had stayed down and he couldn't sort his feet out, which allowed Heinemann to get a challenge in the nick of time. And where Williamstown had done quite the bit of defending, that was an opportunity to spring on the break, that they may have another. Gelos patiently worked. It was a little too long for a lunging Gelos. Ball steered over though. Again looking for Kantz. There to recycle was Beamish. And belting away in clearance was Valiakis Friscalzo.
Commentators cursed from me before, Ethan, when I said their final third was no good and they almost scored.
And now they've got another opportunity, although this time the flag is raised, and that looked rather tight on the far side.
There's never much in them, is there, Ethan, in regard to the offside? Generally. Sometimes it's as clear as day, but I think the players are pretty good to know when to be onside. And they might then take their chance that we've just got to try and push to get at the back here. Hyman, a long ball for Old Scotch. Kept alive with a lovely header by Pellegrino. Welford's after it. Cleared at the back again by Friscalzo. Under some pressure again, Williamstown. Lloyd controls it. Friscalzo, co-captain. From Lloyd back to Friscalzo. And he goes over the sideline. And it remains that Nilor, also involved in that exchange right in front of our contrary position, was Niskevsky. Back into play. Pellegrino's been prominent so far. Welford met front on by Friscalzo, who's as tough as Hessian undies. You wouldn't want to be wearing those, Ethan, would you? 0-0 at the moment. Just over 20 minutes.
Friscalzo's had a bit to do as well.
He's been good
to start this game. Him and Lloyd down that left-hand side for Williamstown. Welford's gone for that channel more often as this half has grown on, and where Old Scotch had a lot of joy down the left-hand side, they've looked to switch the play. Pellegrino's had a lot of freedom, and that's something they've recognised, just to allow him to charge down the right-hand side. And it's been what's really flipped the momentum of this game so far in their favour. The fact that he's been able to get forward, because it gives them more angles to break the lines and go at Williamstown. It's a gorgeous touch on from Ivanovic for Welford, and here is Pellegrino.
Very busy.
Ivanovic was able to turn smartly, shoot sharply, although lashes effort wide.
I reckon they've had 4 shots, and all have been off target from Old Scotch. And as yet, Williamstown yet to have a shot. Nearly did through Cant, coming down that right-hand side at the western end of Grey Reserve, and wasn't able to find a way home. So in short, his attack front on by Welford is Friskelzo. Hack backwards by Valiakis for Old Scotch inside the attacking half. Headed down. Good play to try and control it is Miskevsky for Williamstown, but turned over again inside the defensive half by Old Scotch. And they'll look to drive it long. And that was good play there by Howard. He's been good so far. Defending well at the back. Turnover once more for Old Scotch. Tucked in on the left-hand side. Good defence, though, by Williamstown. And it goes over the sideline. They did well then, Ethan, by getting their players goal sides. Important to do that defensively, and they did that, meaning that Old Scotch had to come in wide down that left-hand side to try and set up something.
But unafraid to use the width so far. Still trying to find their way beyond Williamstown. Beamish, who got away from one, set it on tidily. Nearly sold short, and in the end challenged was Valiakis. Was swung in towards Welford. Almost chaotic. Frescalzo showed a cool hand. Babic dropped it off to him. Frescalzo again went one into the channel. The opportunities for Williamstown have been few and far between so far in this game. They haven't necessarily showcased that slickness going forward.
Well, Frescalzo's been outstanding, playing back and really being the player in between the strikers for Old Scotch and Russell, the goalkeeper. As they bring it down that left-hand side again, good coverage by Williamstown to again make sure they're inside. And a long ball is taken comfortably by the goalkeeper on the left-hand side in Russell. So they're peppering, but just not quite finishing it off, although they've certainly been the better side so far. Back into play, Pellegrino. Miskevsky couldn't control it for Williamstown, turned over once more in the middle of the pitch. Ivanovic goes back now. Good ball by Babic, finds Pellegrino. Pellegrino has Lloyd for company. Goes inside now and doing a good job to get Boot on ball and drive their team forward again as Welford. He gets a bit closer inside the 18-yard area. Ivanovic is there. Pellegrino, lobbing ball, but well taken by Russell, who got backtracking on the left-hand side and clutched that superbly. That one was on target there for Old Scotch, as there's a complete miss kick here by the Williamstown defence, who are, well, all at sea at the moment. Going to ground, I thought, and should be a free kick, and it will go the way of Miskevsky for the Williamstown team. But that was a very good ball by Old Scotch, Ethan, and well taken by Russell. He had players around him, but he kept his eye on the ball the entire time and took it cleanly.
It was a teasing one from Pellegrino. Just put it into an awkward area. Had Welford and Ivanovic, who were charging in at the back post. Didn't want to claim it. He's had 2 already. But he's done rather well with the keeper. That's a beauty of a ball from Frescalzo. Went searchingly. Just wasn't able to quite find its way to Lloyd. Spinning in and out of trouble was Bukal. And Lechevsky came quickly across to clear.
He's been good too, playing as a defensive midfielder.
He's had a bit of breaking up to do.
Lloyd on Welford, who's trying to run him around a bit. Good header, Machewski, and the ball though, about to get back inside the attacking half for Scotch, where it's lived in the first half at the social club rooms in Ethan.
Williamstown maybe just wanting to take some sting out of what's been quite a sharp Scotch opening 25 minutes. Pellegrino's challenge wasn't one which went to advantage, and instead now Williamstown have got an opportunity. Kant found his way in the channel, got away from one and took a tumble. Couple of shouts for a penalty waved away. Mohammed out to clear.
He needed more support then, Ethan. There were 4 opponents who had come to cover very close to the edge of the 18-yard area, and there was no way, if Kant had scored from that, that would have been a miracle goal. He needed a bit more support to come down and help him out to try and set something up. When you've got 1 against 4, you're going to be completely overwhelmed.
It's just needing, and Williamstown are needing, not to be so weary going forward.
Got to play it down. Bit of a concern for them early days as the wind picks up. They're a beautiful Willie. We're not that far away from the beach. There's a football ground, AFL football ground, or Australian rules football ground, which oversees the beach here at Williamstown, Ethan, and when the wind is up on the beach and you're kicking down that end, the ball virtually goes back the other end, like the boomerang comes back. We're a little bit further away here from the beach at Willie, but the wind has still picked up quite a bit, I reckon, over the last 10 minutes or so.
And there still is that coastal chill as well.
Yes, there is. Absolutely.
Fresh off the bay.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's a beautiful part of the world, but the elements do play a part. Just wait till the middle of winter, how cold it can get, particularly at night if Willie continues on in this tournament. These guys are in short sleeves and shorts. Some of them, I know there's a lot of blokes that just wear shorts all the time. A couple of mates of mine live in Kyneton, and it's -1 in the middle of winter and they wear shorts. Crazy. But I digress as we wait and see what's happened with the Williamstown player. Just adding a bit of miscellaneous information to you, Ethan, early days.
It was a fairly tempered Tuesday in Melbourne today.
A beautiful day.
And there's just a question as well on the well-being from the Williamstown bench.
You don't see players go off too often. We saw it in the women's a couple of times early in the season where Essendon Royals and Keilor Park lost players in the first 10 minutes of the season in the opening round.
Thankfully for Williamstown, no change needed. They're restored finally to the full 11. Momentarily they had 10. It's for Scalzo. And they've really been under siege in this first half from Old Scotch, who again have got an opportunity to break. Ivanovic and Welford are further forward as well. The opportunity opened up, and Frescalzo once again came across the block. They had a 3-on-2 momentarily. Williamstown were caught short in retreat.
He's just been really good, hasn't he? Just controlling the back area as the centre back, and if they had got through then, I dare say the goalkeeper would have been 1-on-1. But he was there, put the big body on the line, solidly built his Frescalzo, and did a great job. Ball finds itself inside Williamstown's attacking half. They have possession. Ball was out of play on the Corroy Creek side of the ground, the opposite side to where we're broadcasting from. We're on the beach side, if you like. Nice squaring ball. And here's Williamstown now looking to try and set something up through Lloyd, who's a long way from home. He has to go back. This is Babbage. Deep ball. And goes wide. And out of play.
And they're looking for Kant.
It was Gallos, I should say.
Whenever they get forward,
Yes.
They're looking for Kant. And they're looking for him particularly just to cause that yard of separation. If he can get away from either Bukal or Heinemann, who have really taken turns in going to him so far in this game, then you get the space open up.
Are they looking for him too much, do you think? I mean, they need a bit more support. I said it early on when he had 1 against 4. There has to be other options, doesn't he?
It's certainly direct, and it's looking to create the space for Babbage to make the run in behind and get the midfielders further forward. which is why Nashevsky's been so important sitting deeper in this game so far. He's tried to allow the freedom wherever there's been that opportunity. There just hasn't been much of it for Williamstown so far. Old Scotch have controlled the game quite well. And that's where, all of a sudden, that direct style of play, it becomes a little bit more tricky to pull off.
Great battle at the moment between Friskelzo and Welford when they've played on each other. Welford having a header that went wide. Probably the best gilt-edged opportunity for Old Scotch so far. Babbage got caught then as Old Scotch, it's 3 against 1 constantly when the ball's in dispute. Long high ball from Heinemann. They're not happy with that, as that ball was just a bit errant. He went from one side of the pitch to the other. He was halfway and puts it out of play. On the opposite side in the corner is a couple of nodders. Old Scotch winning it at ground level again. Crossing ball finds Pellegrino, has been very important inside the attacking half. Has an opponent, the opposite number 8, Mastevsky, putting some pressure on him. And there's a player down. It was a late call, very late call, because it seemed that the Williamstown team, Ethan, had started to clear from their defensive half, and then the ref has made the call when a player was down for Old Scotch.
Ivanovic got in ahead of Babbage,
right,
just in the nick of time as that move was transpiring. It's the first time they've not looked to go down the channels for quite some time as well. It's a good ball from Beamish to find him, and it's a sharp turn. It invites Babbage. He just protects the space and draws the challenge and wins a free kick in a good position. For a first half that's been an arm wrestle, perhaps it takes a moment of immense quality to break this game open.
So they set up their wall right in the heart of the 18-yard area on the edge there. Looks like it's going to be Mohammed to take it. Or is it? No, it's Ivanovic going to take it, but he kicks it low and straight into bodies. You can see they were trying to trick, weren't they, with Mohammed coming from that right-hand side.
A little bit of a set piece that fell short, and they've been a little bit wasteful with their set pieces so far in this game, Old Scotch. They've had many an opportunity to put Williamstown under pressure, and it just hasn't had that level of quality, the delivery, to really get Welford and Ivanovic a lot more in the game, and Hyman when he's ventured forward. It's something that they'll need to look at half-time, and you can imagine the coaching staff would be a little bit disappointed with the fact that the set pieces haven't come to much fruition or haven't caused much more of an issue for Williamstown than they would have liked.
Boyd has the ball inside the attacking half of Williamstown, but their passes are breaking down. So Friskelzo says, I've had enough of this. I'm just going to sink the right foot into it and get it deep. And Kant loses control of it. Again, not getting a lot of support. Trying to trap it. Good play by Friskelzo. Got it away from Ivanovic, but he follows it inside the defensive half and elects to go back to his goalkeeper. He's had a quite a time of it so far, Lukakis. Still 0-0. Played just over a half an hour. A little pass at close quarters. Looking to drive it long, Old Scotch, down that right-hand side. It was overcooked, though. Their passes, though, sticking a lot more, Ethan, at the moment as it goes back inside the attacking half for Williamstown. Good header again. The defence of Old Scotch has been quite impressive so far.
And the football they've played has just been a little bit smoother.
It has.
It's been a little bit more refined. And they've looked to hit the diagonal as well, but you can see that Bukal and Heinemann aren't afraid of mixing it up. If there's a good option that drops in, yes, Pellegrino's made a lot of driving runs, but it's allowed Beamish to be able to drop in too. Though they've got a bit of defending to do. Just for the moment, Williamstown might have an opportunity. Babbage presenting a short option. So again, speared for Kant, who got a yard. And the setback was whipped into the area and cleared well. Challenge by favour. Babbage on the slide. It'll break for Kant, who rolled his effort wide, though the flag on the far side was up.
Gee, that was marginal, wasn't it?
Just tiptoed a little bit early offside.
Tiptoe's the operative word, I would have thought.
Oh, it took a deflection. Just gone a fraction early for when that ball was played. Kant's had a couple of looks and a couple of moments in this half.
I still think he needs a bit more support, but what do I know? Goes to the right-hand side, I'm just the commentator. And it goes up, that's not saying anything against you, Ethan. So it goes out of play, getting plenty of distance on the kick, the goalkeeper Lukakas. Back into play by Nabil. He gets it close. Velikakis. And Lloyd now has to try and approach the man with the ball in Pellegrino. Goes inside to Beamish. And then it deflects away and it'll be tidied up at the back by the goalkeeper Russell. For Williamstown, still 0-0, but Old Scotch have had the better of the game.
Well, frustration starting to set in for Old Scotch. Then Williamstown with an opportunity. Again, it was speared long. Babic made a run in vain. One was coming back from an offside position. Here's Bukal. Just happy to slow the game right down, take the sting out of it.
Big man Bukal, isn't he? And they've got those two big defenders, Bukal and Heinemann.
It's a driving ball from Bukal as well. Flicked for. Well, one up in the end. They just haven't been able to make it stick going forward so far, Old Scotch. They had a 5-minute period in the middle of this half, particularly where Pellegrino got further forward. They were able to break the lines.
It's getting in the final third quite a bit, but just a little bit sloppily for mine.
Knocked away by Babic. Kant did well. And then was in a tussle with Heinemann and gave away a free kick.
There's some good one-on-one battles, aren't there? I mean, the battle between Heinemann and Kant is a good one. And obviously Welford and Fuskelzo at the other end.
It's Bukal. Again, went to spear it long. Ivanovic wasn't able to get ahead of Fuskelzo. Thumping clearance. Once again, Williamstown are just able to get bodies in the right place at the right time. Nabil Mohammed moved it on to Valiakis, who tried to take on 2, then 3. Mohammed then tried to give him a helping hand. Still really unable to find a way through. It's Bukal.
Pushed back nicely here, Williamstown.
For Howard. Old Scotch really just forced to try and start from scratch once again. Heinemann had Pellegrino one way, speared it for Nabil Mohammed the other, who got up and ahead but flicked it out of play.
Yes, that's good defence by Williamstown. They've sort of settled into their game, defending a lot better than they were early days. They've had a lot less possession though than Old Scotch. But the wheel has turned a bit, I reckon, the last few minutes or so. The big right foot of Fuskelzo didn't get the header right. We've seen this happen a little bit in the world game, and I do worry about it, Ethan, because of the HIA and the concussion. We see it so much in Australian rules that this is a vital skill in the world game. And I worry that if you don't get it right, it could be the possibility of a HIA.
Could be long-term, possibly, through repeated exposure. Thankfully for Nishchevsky, he's okay.
But you can't take it out of the game because it's such, as I say, such a vital component of the game. I mean, when it's done properly, not saying that Nishchevsky didn't do it properly, but when it's done properly and they slide it away and they buckle at the knees, it's a superb skill.
Fundamentals have given Fuskelzo and Williamstown maybe one more opportunity to try and break the deadlock. Nishchevsky, Lloyd hooked it on for Bjorn Kant. who once again resumes battle with Bukal. Won it on that occasion and fired it on for Babic. The flag stayed down. Important sliding challenge from Hyman. Williamstown have a corner.
Yep, just got back. I think that's the first corner of the night for Williamstown. And, gee, they're falling down like 9 pence. Cant's gone down. Not sure exactly what's happened. Maybe, well, couldn't be. Well, they've played a couple of games in a few days, and they are semi-professional, so it's a big ask, isn't it? Thought maybe there was a little bit of cramp for Bjorn Cant, but he gets up pretty quickly.
Williamstown corner. Maybe an opportunity to cause an issue. They haven't had many so far this evening. Could they go and pinch one before the break? Fizz to that near post. Again, cautious. Hyman hammered it away. Shouts for handball, waved away. Just for a second in the old Scotch area, there was complete chaos.
They were lucky that the kick was completely mucked up as they get it back inside the attacking half. Williamstown. Cant didn't know where he headed that one. Lloyd came in late, coming up from his defensive position. It just bobbles away. It's taken high by Miskevsky again, who's recovered after he didn't quite get the header right. And it's out of play. Williamstown getting a bit of a look inside their attacking half down that right-hand side. It remains 0-0. Remember, we go to extra time and then penalties if we get there. It'll be nearly midnight by the time we get the penalties. It's a school night tonight. But anyway, it'll be a wonderful encounter if we get there. So they've got it deep in the right-hand side, Williamstown, at the moment. Not far from where the byline and also the sideline meet.
Another opportunity. Fizz to the back post. And it required a punch from Leoakis. Second wasn't cleared as convincingly. It allowed Babic to go and win it. Pellegrino sliding in vain. Leoakis just had to be sure. Couldn't take any risks.
Again, he was on his own, Mateo Babic, wasn't he? He just needed a little bit more support as Old Scotch had their defenders there.
Lloyd went with Loft. Cant couldn't get a flick on. Leoakis taking almost all of his allotted time.
Oh, that's got to be handball.
It long. Took a touch off chest.
Oh, was it?
And then Valiakis went and won it back, was given a pullback and wins a free kick.
Oh, gee, I'm wondering there whether that was a handball on Gallos. Ooh. And I think he might have known that it might have been a handball. He was like the little boy that had pushed another little boy down to the schoolyard and thought, am I going to get away with this? And he has.
Scotch free kick. Drilled in by Howard. There were two waiting at the back post. Welford was one. It had too much depth for either of them.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those, hasn't there? Ballooning balls that have just been carried a bit. And Russell at the back. Both keepers have done a good job so far. Score remains at 0-0 in this first half. Little pass at close quarters. Don't think the coach is too happy with that. And Friscalzo has put it over the sideline as the pass came to him just outside the 10-yard box. That was low percentage, I would have thought, there from the Williamstown side. Pellegrino, the throw, headed away. Missed by Valiakis. And now can Cant get there? He's got two defenders, the big men of Hyman and Bacall respectively, and Hyman's the one that just gets in front of him and nods it back to the goalkeeper, Lukakis. And Hyman again, the Englishman, confronted, has to try and work his way through, does. The defence is good though of Williamstown. Hook it back in the direction of Cant. Cant gets it down again, Babic an opportunity. He goes down. I think he's outside the 18-yard area. He is. He wasn't far away, but he was certainly put down. It was a clumsy challenge by Old Scotch, and he looks to be in a little bit of trouble. But there's an opportunity here for Williamstown.
And a yellow card for
yellow
Hindman as
card.
well. It's a good turn of pace and a good turn in general from Babbage. Just created that yard of separation.
Yes, if he can get up there a little bit more often with Cant, it'll cause them some issues, won't it?
Well, they've got an opportunity from the free kick. Babbage over it. Williamstown, who have withstood, now have an opportunity to go and maybe pinch something.
Got a wall there on the right-hand side, as you can see in our coverage. Magnus doing a magnificent job, as he always does. I've worked with him a lot this year. It's been a pleasure.
And it is set back for Babbage, and it's flushed just wide.
Oh,
And it was the final kick of the half.
oh, wasn't far away. It's as close as anyone's been tonight. But that is cold comfort for the Williamstown team. They nearly were up 1-0, but if your auntie had whiskers, she'd be your uncle. Almost could have, would have. It was very, very close, but they didn't quite get there. But you'd have to say that they fought back well in the last 15 minutes, Williamstown, after being, I thought, completely outplayed in the first 30, Ethan.
And it's an arm wrestle out west in Williamstown. Old Scotch certainly had a share early on and then survived a late scare. Williamstown within an inch or two from finding an opener from a free kick, though neither side has been able to break the deadlock. Half time in Williamstown, and it is Williamstown 0, Old Scotch 0. when we were doing the warm-up, he walked past into the camera, and just like, apparently my wrist saw it, and like, he had it on his phone while he was driving.
That was a nice game.
Welcome back to Grey Reserve Williamstown. Very interesting move here. Both teams, Ethan, Dan Lonigan and Ethan Rigg with you. Great to be here. It's 0-0 at half-time in the Dockerty Cup. It's all to play for. Winner goes on to round 6. The loser will just concentrate, obviously, on their league for the rest of the season. But very interesting, Ethan, because both teams didn't go in with the reserve keeper. You don't see it very often. But there's an injury to Russell, the keeper for the Williamstown team, and their main striker, who was dangerous at times, Bjorn Kant, has gone from one end of the pitch to the other. Some might say he's gone from chocolates to boiled lollies or boiled lollies to chocolates, depending if he likes being a goalkeeper. But that is an amazing move, and it means that they've made, obviously, a sub, and the sub coming on is Aracibia, who's the Chilean, who's a pretty good player at Mestevsk. He's also come off as well. So they've made 2 subs.
Matheson's also come on, but Bjorn Kant is having quite the evening. Started the night up top, led the line, easily looked the most dangerous of the Williamstown forwards in that first half, and now he's going to have his work cut out for him between the sticks. You would imagine there'd be a quick look from those on the Old Scotch touchline. The initial message would be, have a look at the keeper early, get as many shots off as you can, and see if you can cause an error.
Are you surprised both teams? You normally have a reserve keeper, and normally they're not used or needed, but neither team's got a reserve keeper tonight. I've never seen that before.
It's the first time neither team having a reserve keeper, and for one of them, for Williamstown, it's come back to haunt them. Beamish.
And there's a change too. Chetty is on. He started as a sub, and he trying to get the ball forward, not able to. Long ball came from Bukal inside the attacking half. Now for Old Scotch, who are heading towards the western end. Good play to try and get things going is Matheson, who's come on, has scored a few times for the Williamstown team, and he was pressing and harassing and haranguing the opposition, but wasn't able to get proper control of it. Again, there's been a bit of... gets out the back now to Babic, but he cannons in to the goalkeeper. And now here's a chance for Matheson. He's got a couple of opponents on him. He works to the right-hand side. And Matheson working hard, needing a bit more support, which has been their issue a bit when the ball's been at ground level, and there's been this battle to win it when it's been in dispute, as there might be a handball. There is. And it goes against Babbage of Williamstown. But they've been outplayed a bit when the ball's been in dispute, I reckon, Ethan, in regard to Williamstown. And there's always been 1 on 2 or 3. We saw Matheson work really hard inside the attacking half on this side in front of our commentary position, but there was no one else to support him, and there were at least 2 opponents.
The only runner he had was Aracibia, who was also the one, both substitutes looking to link up immediately in the second half. There may be an opportunity for Welfords, who was well marshalled by Friscalzo once again. But 2 changes for Williamstown at the break. Matheson and Aracibia, they're looking to try and break this game open. They spent a lot of the first half on the back foot.
And so Bjorn Kant was striker, and he's now goalkeeper, so he stayed at the same end all night. He was down that right-hand side, parked there, trying to score in the first half, and he might be down the right-hand side trying to save some goals in the second half. Couple of errant passes there by Old Scotch, but they get going again. Heinemann in the colourful boots will combine with Bukal, the Frenchman, who goes wide down that right-hand side. Scotch, peering ball inside the attacking half, hacked back by Friscalzo, and they win it at ground level now at Williamstown, looking for a way through, but cut off by Pellegrino. He tried to hack it, couldn't quite control it, and it's going to be Williamstown's ball just inside their attacking half. Still 0-0.
And again, they're looking to go down that side, Old Scotch, going forward. They're looking to get Pellegrino involved as much as possible. Heinemann maybe has to be a bit cautious. They kept him out. He's on a yellow card. He can't afford to lunge in to anything in this second half. Bukal will have to do a lot of that sweeping work defensively, which could lead Williamstown to exploit down that left-hand side and create themselves some more opportunities, because in the first half, that's really what they were lacking.
So do they have to isolate Heinemann so he can get, not easy ball, it's never easy out there, but be able to play without the pressure of having opponents around him? So how does he have to change his game, doesn't he? And he's probably going to be going into his shell a little bit, thinking, I can't afford to get another yellow card.
I'm sure he's walked the tightrope many a time. May not be the first in his career in which he's had to sustain time on a yellow card. Receiving one of importance, though. Spotting round 6 on the line in the Dockerty Cup. Chance to play one of the big boys in Victoria.
So they get themselves back inside their attacking half. Williamstown. Ball bobbles around. Nice little ball there by Welford. He just sort of let it slide off his boot and keep it moving on down that right-hand side. And Pellegrino then disappointed with himself off the side of the boot. It's still 0-0. Remembering that we go into extra time if it's still locked. And then we have penalties after that. So there could be a lot of football still to be played in this Dockerty Cup. All to play for when it goes on. Round 6, the loser. Their campaign finishes in the Dockerty Cup tonight. Again, a loose ball. Old Scotch going forward. Nabil. Through ball. Was clever on that occasion by Chetty, but cut off at the back. Here's Matheson. There's no one else near him to help him in blue. They're all in yellow. They've got back. Then he chops it forward, staying onside. Here's a chance. Magnificent save, though, at the back by the goalkeeper, Lakakis. The pass came in from Aracibia. And well done, Lakakis. He makes a great save as he dives over the left-hand side. And it could have been 1-0 for Williamstown. It's not. But that was their best opportunity for the night. Ethan?
Lovely ball from Matheson, and it's the 2 substitutes linking up once again. A brilliantly timed run by Arasibia just to get in behind the angle. Didn't favour him. Liuakis got across. He had to sprawl quickly, but it's given Williamstown a boost.
Oh! There was a header there. I was thinking, was it almost going to be an own goal? But I'm sure Williamstown got a header on that, and it required Liuakis to show excellent reflexes as he was camped right on the goal line. That kick is a very high ballooning ball off the side of the boot. Lovely little back heel kick by Welford, and then a player goes down for Old Scotch inside their attacking half, and that's Pakal who's gone down. So they get a free kick, Ethan.
And an opportunity to return the pressure, which Williamstown have put them under just to start this second half, where Old Scotch in the first half had a lot of the play. Williamstown have started this half brighter, and it's the changes.
Yes, I think so.
Of Arasibia and Matheson as well that have caused the issues. But this is an opportunity for them. Speared into a dangerous area. It's nodded away well by Frascalzo. Steered back towards a dangerous area by Beamish. Valiakis clearly gave Howard one to go and chase. He was starved of options and had two. Babbage was one of them, and he got the final touch.
Babbage brothers have been pretty good so far. You're right, they look, with the greatest respect to Kent, he was on his own. They look better with both Matheson and Arasibia up front, the Williamstown team, as it's parked in that corner on the far side and very close to where the byline, and also the sideline joint. And the goalkeeper is going to take it. It's our man, Bjorn Kant. He's playing as I say, I've never seen it before. I've seen players change occasionally. The second goalkeeper coming on, not often, but as we said, there are no reserve goalkeepers tonight, so Kant's gone from, I'm sure he's had experience in that role before, but I've never seen someone who's the main striker of a team go to be goalkeeper from one half to the next.
Kant hasn't had too much of a test thus far. Scotch have started this second half on the back foot. That's loose from Welford. Just hasn't clicked the way it did in the first 45 for them.
That'll chat to Dylan Croucher of Old Scotch, one of the key players who's just a bit sore. That's why he's not playing tonight, along with the Batista brothers.
As Matheson is on the march, two waiting. The cutback was cleared away by Heinemann. So long for Ivanovic, who's had it thunder in and off of him. Arasibia made the darting run to the back post for Matheson. His cutback couldn't find him, nor a late runner.
He's a tall man, Matheson, isn't he? Mind you, so is Hyman, so is Bakal. The two big defenders for Old Scotch.
Williamstown have just made a bright start to this second half and are looking to cause an issue. Ivanovic dropped it off for Welford, who wanted a free kick and wouldn't get one. Nishchevsky slid it round the corner and then clicked teasingly into the channel, and the flag was up against Matheson. His protest, of course, is that he didn't make a go at it. So without a play at the ball, flag was raised nonetheless, though Williamstown, to start this second half, have certainly been brighter. Scotch have,
and better.
Old Scotch have just got a little bit of thinking to do. Bukal and speared it for Ivanovic and Chetty. Ivanovic wants to clip round the corner for Chetty. He didn't oblige him with a run.
Nice header provided by the co-captain. Vladovosky. Another tall defender. So here's Kant. told the players to clear out so he can get some distance on the kick, the goal kick. Looking to drive it long. It's a halfway, it's a big header. Huge noggin by Hyman. And in the end, they've got to go back to go forward. Ivanovic sinking his boot into that one as Kant. Loose ball now, here's Matheson, but just getting in the road and pushing it away from him was Nabil. He got goal side and just huffed and puffed and blew Matheson down to win that contest as it goes over the sideline. And it remains 0-0, this match on a knife's edge.
Williamstown have caused more of an issue to start the second half. Matheson just making moves. It's causing a bit of Old Scotch uncertainty. And that first half pressure that they were able to impose has been few and far between. That's rather wasteful on Bukal.
They couldn't get past those three defenders. They were all back, weren't they?
They wanted a reset. Lewakis gave it back to Bukal, who again speared it for Ivanovic. He was crowded out for Escalzo and went to hook it away. Babic took it down and was swarmed upon immediately by Chetty, who's got 2 to go around. Set it back for Nabil, who's twisting and turning away from one and then got away from the second. Ball was fizzed low. Clipped away only as far as Hyman, whose touch let him down. And now Matheson can get on the march. 2 are up with him. Aracibia, one of them. Bukal went to hold him up, and then one into good effect. And that fancies a drive of his own.
Hearing that blower on, I'm thinking it was going to be a free kick then.
Pellegrino for Welford. Pellegrino. Valiakis. Old Scotch just trying to get some sort of foothold in this second half, and Friscalzo's given them a free kick.
First error he's made all night. Co-captain Friscalzo with Mladenovski showing that role. Names at 0-0.
Ref, you can't miss it in the scoreboard.
Nabil looks like he'll take it. Hook it on the left-hand side. Let's get it right in the middle and maybe curl it. A lot of blue shirts hovering. The 18-yard box. Nearly made a meal of that can. It sort of dropped over the top. And the bounce wasn't great, but then again, he didn't really looked like he was in the position to trap it cleanly. In the end, it goes off hands, and it's a corner kick for Old Scotch. I had a few in a short space of time in the first half. It's a curling ball that is headed away on the left-hand side, and then Old Scotch had a crack and it went over the crossbar. A couple of changes about to be made, and we're lucky to see them because they're right in front of us here, Ethan.
Right down on the touchline. That's where we're situated this evening.
Page is coming on, number 11. And number 13 coming on, and that is Shahak. So a couple of changes being made. Welford's one of them, and the other one is one of their key defenders, both in the Crimson Boots, and that, of course, is Hyman.
Well, they wouldn't want to leave Hyman out too much longer. Yellow card.
Yes.
In the first half. Clearly was one that was playing on the mind. The thought would have been give him 10 and see what happens, see how they start this half. Williamstown have just caused more of an issue, which put him at a higher risk. So if you're going to make the change, the time is after the first 10 minutes just to see what rhythm it settles into.
It's like if you're on the last foul in basketball, isn't it? You might be the most important player and you've got 3 minutes left, the game's tied. You need that player out there, but if they're on a 5th foul, you almost can't have them.
As Matheson drills in from nowhere and fires Williamstown ahead. Went around 3 and 4 and just belted it into the bottom corner. And Williamstown at the moment have got half a foot towards the 6th round.
Fantastic goal by Matheson. He has been magnificent since coming on. He's just given them vim and vitality. You can see what the coaches of the respective teams are doing, Ethan. Key players are only playing a half. But I mean, the beauty of playing the Dockerty Cup during the week is they don't have to train. I dare say most players, even though they have to train, would prefer to play a game than train, and an opportunity for Matheson to play a half, and he has just dominated. 1-0 Williamstown, some work now for Old Scotch to do. Long ball by Beamish, and waiting for it at the back as it rolls to him is Cant, who was the striker in the first half, and now he's the goalkeeper with Russell getting injured. Well, we think he got injured, unless of course he's been rested. Down the left-hand side, there's our man Matheson again. Wasn't able to control it.
The finish from him was magnificent. Just waited and waited and waited for the space to open up. And when
Stayed
he got,
onside too.
even got half a yard and smashed it into the bottom corner, and has smashed Williamstown ahead. First half they were on the back foot. Second half they have stormed out of the gates and have got themselves a lead to warrant it.
And you're a genius, Ethan, because you did say you thought a goal might come either in the first 20 or the second 20 of the second half.
And here is Matheson again, who this time couldn't get around Pellegrino. It's errant from Valiakis, and Old Scotch at the moment are just starting to feel the heat on what's become a bit of a brisk evening.
Well, they can't clear their defensive half, which was troubling Williamstown in the first half, wasn't it? And now it's Williamstown just in possession, monopolising territory. And you're right, the two moves they made, Arasibia and especially Matheson, have proven to be sensational.
Two inspired changes. Lloyd's flick on, thumped away by Bukal. Chetty on for Nabil. Old Scotch have got an opportunity perhaps. Shahak. Whitlow. Cleared only as far as Chetty, who had to set it back for Page. And the switch was cut out by Nashevsky, and it found its way for Matheson, who had Arasibia further forward. Beamish then went in and won it. Shahak wasn't able to steer it over Gallos.
Down too, Ethan, because they're getting players back to support instead of having Old Scotch have two or three on their own trying to set something up.
Incredibly diligently defended from Williamstown, who have had to do that and then some so far this evening. Wasn't necessarily smash and grab for Matheson. They made the most of a good patch. Pellegrino stood it up for Chetty, who came crashing and gave away a free kick.
It was, in the words of the great Dennis Cometti, a bit ambitious there from Chetty, but I suppose he thought if he could set something up and try and not make contact, which was pretty hard when you're coming from the bleachers, 3 or 4 back. But the idea was there anyway. So Cant to inbound with his team up 1-0 and looking to book a spot in the 6th round. Gets harder against some of the better teams, higher ranked teams in the higher leagues, but they would get to host again. Beautiful lights here at Grey Reserve. Long ball, plenty of distance on that from Cant. Gets to halfway inside the attacking half. Got a feeling the wind is going to the social club room's end, and it was assisted there, that kick, by the wind, and eventually headed over the sideline by the Old Scotch side. It's finding it hard to get anything going at the moment. It's headed away by Bacall, just outside the 18-yard area, and offside. The flag goes up as they were working their way again around that left-hand side, the Williamstown team. Score remains at 1-0 in favour of the home side.
Aracibia just straight early. Though Lloyd has looked to link up with him in greater frequency. There's a burst down the left that led to Matheson's goal, which currently is the difference. And as it stands, has Williamstown in the 6th round, though Old Scotch are looking to cause an issue. Shahak, who was surrounded by many.
Good defence again by that man. Kelso, he just came in front of his opponent, came across his path, went low, and saved the day. Good defence again for Scalzo. Nothing on the end of that though. Down the left-hand side, and it will be an Old Scotch ball. Only one player, Matheson, inside the attacking half, who scored the goal for Williamstown. Everyone else inside the defensive half at the western end. As they're forced to go back, nothing on offer up the ground. Page, Nabil, looking to work his way through. He's been hotly pressed by Mateo Babic. Turnover again. Can they get them on the rebound? Matheson, though, was trailed in. Good play to get goal side by Page. High ball. Knotted down again by Nabil. Turnover in the middle of the pitch by the Old Scotch team. And a quick kick towards halfway. Williamstown able to defend nicely. Matheson working hard. Put down. And it will be a free kick going Old Scotch's way. I thought Matheson actually was the one put to ground by Page, but they push it from one side of the pitch to the other, Old Scotch, and they need a goal here.
Pellegrino. Back for Bukal. Can they go and find something? Sent it long for Chetty. The flick found for Scalzo, who was calm to nod it back to Kant.
Just about best on ground for Kelso for mine, Ethan.
Kant went long. Matheson and Aracibia again wanting to combine with one another. And this time Aracibia gives away a free kick.
They weren't giving those in the first half. I mean, I'm a big believer that the officials have just got to try and be consistent.
Before that, there was a lot of Williamstown conjecture as Page turned himself into trouble and then did well enough to get out to it. Liuakis.
How good has Matheson been with his defensive efforts as well?
He's been a big difference maker. Shahak with a good turn. Had options arriving. Valiakis. Beamish set it on for Nabil. Valiakis couldn't find Chetty. Nabil then took over and had a go. And Kant momentarily.
I thought he left that behind then and it got past him.
Nearly a heart-in-mouth moment for the centre-forward turn shot stopper.
Tantalisingly close. And he kicks it off the side of the boot. And it'll be turned over for Old Scotch inside their attacking half and having a good couple of minutes territory-wise. The team in purple and yellow. Nabil down the line, getting high. Ivanovic, he tried to get a header on that. Cleared by the defence of Williamstown to halfway. Matheson's there. He's been held onto like a cheap suit by Page, who's his opponent at the moment, having 2 or 3 to beat. Good scissor kick provided by Aracibia. And then in the end, he was outnumbered. Pellegrino has it. Player brought down in the middle.
And Beamish has just gone straight through Aracibia off the ball. He kicked out at him initially in that challenge. And then in retreat, just ran straight through it. Finds himself with a yellow card, and that's just rather reckless.
Those whistles in the crowd, or whatever they're called, and the banging of the fences driving me mad. Maybe it's because of my age, Ethan.
Well, substitution in the meantime for Williamstown. Laverso's making his way on. And the evening for Reed comes to an end. Williamstown have a free kick. And another if it were to come from this, and they could all but wonder about the 6th round.
Paul, what's he doing?
There's still plenty of time for Old Scotch to get themselves back into this game. So there is a will about Williamstown at the moment. Would be the furthest they've gone in the cup for quite some time. A real opportunity. A fairy tale type run. Larissibia was nearly able to steer it round the corner. Frascalzo was fantastic once again. Couldn't be made for Matheson. Page. Beamish. Now Chetty. Set it back for Bukal.
Been solid at centre back for Carl. Pellegrino down the right hand side. You work their way through, but they've been stuck wide because the Williamstown defence have got back. Header, a bit of an issue. Beat at the back by Nash. Through ball again. Matheson needs to get goal side if he can. He's got a couple of opponents around him. He does well to control it. Nice little pass. And he virtually kicked that off balance. It was like he stumbled into it. As they make a couple of changes again, Old Scotch. They didn't make any at half time. And that was big opportunity for Williamstown. They weren't able to finish it. And that came from the boot of Laverso, who's just come on. So one of the players coming on will be Hogben. And also Bosley, the only boy who's from Scotch. Scotch College, of course, based in Kooyong.
I'll be hoping one of their own could maybe steal an equaliser. As unpopular as that may be around here. And there is Bosley. Moved it on to Hogben. 2 substitutes immediately getting amongst it. Howards. Bukal. Can they cause yet another issue? He moves it on for Page. Nabil.
Beautiful green boots.
Clipped it on for Ivanovic. Nabil, the flag stayed down. 3 were converging and none could get a touch. Babic then lost out. Valiakis. Shahak. Trying to turn his way out of trouble.
Finch has got back well, haven't they? Very deep.
What is that?
And trickle its way back for Kant. And just with the time that ticks by and the scares they survive, Williamstown can feel themselves getting closer.
Kant, very long high ball, but nothing on the end of that. But Cal might tidy it up. Although it lands inside the 18-yard area and can be collected by Lukakus at the back. Williamstown with a goal to Matheson in the second half, lead 1-0. Bukal shares it across the pitch from one side to the other with Page. Goes back again, Hogben. Just come on as one of the substitutes. And an Old Scotch player put down inside the attacking half as they get a bit of territory at the moment and a bit of control of the ball, and they need to try and find an equaliser before full time.
That might just start to become a factor for them. Opportunity to get themselves level and to cause a bit of Williamstown unrest. Whip was cut out by Babic. Set back for Valiakis. It's whipped into the area, dangerously dealt with. Frascalzo got a flick. Mohammed had an opportunity. Again, chaos for Williamstown. Laverso couldn't get it under control. Babic then came flying through. Howard had an opportunity. And that one, though it stung the palms of Bjorn Kantz, didn't trouble him more than that.
He virtually aimed at him. He was on that right-hand side, wasn't he? Protecting the right goalpost. Kicking into bodies is Nash. And it's off, though. Nabil, the last one to have possession. So it's going to be a Williamstown ball deep in their defensive half as they hold on to a 1-0 lead. Throw down the line again. Virtually off the shoulder there of the young man Bosley. No, the last touch was to Williamstown. Not sure about that, but anyway. Bosley looking to receive it, can't, from Page. Turnover again. They get it back through Lazaro, and then it gets to halfway to Matheson again, looking to turn his opponents inside out. Through ball to Aracibia. He's online, he's shoots, and he scores! Oh, magnificent! Williamstown are on their way to round 6, you think, of the Dockerty Cup, and the two subs have blown this match apart. Magnificent to the left-hand corner by Aracibia. Matheson scored earlier, Aracibia scored about 15 minutes later. They spent the first half sitting on the pine, and they've come on in the second half and given Ethan Rigg this side vim and plenty of vitality.
And they can begin to wonder now about round 6 of the Cup. 2-1 from either substitute. Inspired half-time changes. Williamstown are all but there. Their cup run looks set to continue for Old Scotch. It's going to be the sour taste of no further than 5th.
You think. Like funnier things have happened. Were they behind in a game, Old Scotch, and they scored very quickly to take it to extra time? And then Howard scored in the 19th minute of extra time, and they hung on for the last 11 minutes. There's another change is being made.
Oh shit. Because the commentators said, this bag is really annoying you. Is he commentating as well?
Did you hear me say yeah?
So they're in possession, in defence, Old Scotch. You've just got to go now, Page. Need to try and find a way through. They pass. And the Nabil really went out.
What game are you watching?
Aracibia saying that was out. But the line person said no. They charged down the right-hand side through Howard. Hogman has to cut inside, back towards the defensive half. And Nabil's able to get away from Aracibia. He keeps him honest. Again, the defence is good for Williamstown. A nice header by Nabil, who's been one of his team's best. Then he gets a little sliding noddle backwards. Super Carl down to Hogman on the right-hand side. Opponents confronting him. Passes it wide. Pellegrino under pressure. And good defence again by the Williamstown team.
Just cannot find a way through.
The defence has really picked up after being a little bit sloppy in the first 15 to 20 minutes.
And even if it's gotten slightly more desperate from Williamstown as this has gone on, Friscalzo went flying to go and flick that to safety.
He's been magnificent for Friscalzo.
They can sense the 6th round. Unless Old Scotch have got an issue to cause late. Could have an opportunity. Nabil. Chetty. Clipped it into the area, and Ivanovic hooked his effort quite the way over.
Well, I have the ball. Wait, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So 2-0 Williamstown. Holding a strong advantage as they think about round 6 of the Dockerty Cup. They started a round earlier. It would be 4 on the trot in this competition. They started in round 2, Old Scotch in round 3. And they've been very good at only conceding 2 goals so far. Their defence has held up well. And they've scored 12 in the campaign of the Dockerty Cup. So they've found that part, I wouldn't say easy, but they've managed to put pressure on the opposition by scoring often enough.
And if it stays this way for them as well, it's not just a night to remember in the Cup. It's a great way to rebound from the disappointment in the league at the weekend too.
Yeah, they got thrashed, didn't they? 5-1.
So to respond from that with a clean sheet, if they are to hold out Old Scotch, it's a terrific turnaround in only a couple of days to be able to pick themselves up and go again. It's the sign of a team who have showcased a lot of resilience tonight. That's been very evident.
Oh, missed by Nash. He went for the fresh airy. Cut inside. Didn't quite get a decent touch on that. Old Scotch close to the line. Get the defence good. Headed away. Bouncing down. Unsure whether he should take it. Bukal. Although Page was holding on to his opponent, Arasivia. He virtually had hold of his waist. Kicked into bodies. And it will be an Old Scotch ball inside the attacking half.
Arasibia had 2 streaming forward as well.
Yeah.
Laverzo and Matheson just got on the march for him. For Old Scotch, though, it's now or never. If they are to save themselves, Nabil, it's a lovely flick from Chetty, an opportunity, it's flashed just wide. Bukal had sent himself forward. They got the faintest of flicks. They've got a corner.
I think Kant was also flat-footed a bit then too. His reaction time left a lot to be desired from the goalkeeper, but luckily it was off target.
Late Scotch corner. Kant came and got fist on it. Thump further away.
It's going to be a late substitution.
2 more to see it out for Williamstown. Chetty on for Nabil. Old Scotch still trying, still searching, and Kant gets a comfy claim.
2 Russells are going to come on. Number 3, Mazunda, and number 4, Barker. See who will come off. See, Kant, not a great kick, but gee, it's controlled brilliantly by Mashevsky. Here he is. Arasivia has been superb, and he had opponents all around him. He goes from one side of the park to the other. It's on the edge of the 18-yard area. Back to Arasivia again as they traversed the pitch. He trapped it nicely, but unfortunately they couldn't finish it off, and it will be a goal kick. Beautiful play by Arasivia. He tracked that nicely, didn't he, on a couple of occasions, but they just couldn't quite finish it off.
Wonderful. And the take from Nashevsky was so smooth to start the attack as well. Those 2 changes will make their way on.
And Gallos was the one that had the shot at the end and couldn't quite finish it off.
Mizunda, Barker make their way on. Nashevsky
And Nash.
and Nash, the 2 off. But what a night this has been for Williamstown. Under pressure early. They had to withstand a Old Scotch onslaught. And now Arasibia is in hot pursuit of Nabil, who wasn't able to go beyond him.
No, he's been wonderful, Arasivia. If you were giving votes, you don't only have to give him 1 for his second half. It's been unbelievable. Put it away again by Williamstown. Getting a boot on that is Vladnanovsky. He's been a solid defender as well. That's a big shot which hits the left-hand goalpost from a long way out outside the 18-yard area. It had beaten Kant. Luckily, it was just slightly off target for Old Scotch. They may get another opportunity here. Player is put down. He was studded. He wasn't able to control it by being put down, Bosley, and there might be a yellow card given here.
Laverso finding himself in the book. That challenge on Bosley was just a little bit too robust.
What about that shot that had beaten Kant on the left-hand side? Came from well outside the 18-yard area. It was a Hail Mary, and it almost came off for Old Scotch.
They are running out of time and running out of opportunities.
They've just got to score twice. When I say just, they have to score twice in a very short space of time.
Nabil's free kick. Bjorn Kant beats it away again. Barker just tried to gain as much ground as he could.
He's been beaten a couple of times, Kent. If they had been on target, they would have scored. But again, that's been their issue. I think they've had 6 shots and they've all been off target, unfortunately, for Old Scotch tonight. Missing a number of key players, Croucher and, of course, the Batista brothers, who are regulars in this team, the starting lineup. Then again, Williamstown, pretty strong team, but they've also mixed and matched with players like Matheson, Arecibi. You see how good they are up front. Spending the first half on the bench and coming on fresh as daisies in the second half, Ethan.
And they've made all the difference. The two who got the goals, that if it stays this way, are sending Williamstown to the 6th round of the Dockerty Cup. Arecibi lost out on that occasion at Leverso, who went and won it and then went and lost it. Bukal, Bosley, Shahak, Bukal. There has to be more urgency.
Yes.
Setback for Page,
They can't get it through. That's
who
the problem.
clipped in the channel, but clipped with too much force.
Every time they look up, there's a Williamstown opponent in their face, only a couple of metres away, and they panic. So they go back, and it eats away valuable seconds as far as Williamstown are concerned. Here's Cant again. Will inbound with it 2-all. The defenders of Old Scotch get back again. Plenty of distance on the kick. Couldn't get ahead of Page. Goes out the back again. Here's Matheson. He tips it. They thought there might be some handball there. He was looking to chip it towards Arecibi, but the defence clear, even though they might have been lucky to survive. Cleared at the back again. Matheson is off target. Taken on the outside by Barker. One of the subs. Back to Matheson. Controls inside the 18-yard area. Shoves down a couple of opponents. 3-on-1 against him. Arecibi has a go. And it's stopped, though, in the goal mouth cleverly by Lukakas. But those two are causing all sorts of problems for Old Scotch, Arecibi and Matheson.
2 really good looks for a third. That really would have put the exclamation point on this game.
5 minutes remaining. I think it's over now. The coach can fold his arms and sit back.
Flick on Matheson, and now an opportunity again for Barker, who wanted to breeze beyond Page and couldn't quite do so.
Coach says get back. He's not relaxed yet. Even though his team are nearly there, they can taste it, they can smell it, they can feel it. A spot in the 6th round for Williamstown at home at Grey Reserve. 5 minutes from my place. Closest I've ever been for a soccer match. Thank you, Chris Gleeson. Although I don't mind travelling. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Page combining now with Bacall, but they just can't get their way through because they've pressed up so high, the Williamstown defence, and even their strikers and their midfield have got back inside the defensive half. Looking to try and work their way through. Under pressure, close to the line. Through ball came again. Nabil tried to meet it.
Send that!
And now Arecibi.
Yes, Arecibi are outstanding, but Matheson can't control it. And the player for Old Scotch was trying to do a lot of the work there on his own and did a pretty good job with Shahak.
Still they are short on time. If there is to be something, it has to come now. Matheson wanted to charge Bukal. Again dropped it off to Chetty. And now Howard. He speared it onto Novel. Bukal away from Leverso. Arecibi dropped in. Mizundo Arasibia, that's wonderfully worked, and they've given Matheson one to chase. Page got the flick, and it only broke for Barker, who got away from one.
He's held.
Williamstown want to hold. Howard came away with it. Barker now blazing in retreat. Mizundo.
He's been good, Mizundo, a couple of times, saving the day, hasn't he?
Bukal nodded it on, only as far as Leverso. He couldn't make it for Matheson. Speared by Bosley, and speared to no avail.
See, a bit inconsistent there. I thought that was definitely a free. As the play was dragged out, 2 minutes remaining. The bench calls out for Williamstown. I've been known to make a big call, but I think this is an easy call. I reckon the home team are home here, if that makes any sense. Hacked down by Old Scotch. Push forward again. Can they get on the move? They can't, just had too much on it. And leaving his territory is the carcass, and he throws it out wide to Page. Another big body defender for Old Scotch. Long high ball. Coming out to meet it is Kant, who vacuums it up.
Bjorn Kant is 90 seconds from a clean sheet.
After Russell went off at half-time, and Kant was the main striker in the first half. Never seen it before. I've seen a goalkeeper being replaced before by another goalkeeper, but not by a striker. I know I've gone on about that a little bit, but fascinating, that. Long ball by Nabil. Headed down again. Good defence by the Williamstown side. And that was Gallos, who's been solid as well. An unsung hero like most of the defence. Trying to work their way through. And missing to the right-hand side. That was good play by one of the substitutes who just worked his way through it. A bit of space in Hogman. But again, off target. That's their 7th, I reckon. 7th shot off target. Not sure whether Camp would have had it covered, but it didn't matter. Missed clearly to the right-hand side.
And they might...
Right near the end, I saw the coach look up and say, thank you, God. I reckon it's nearly over here. Long ball down that right-hand side. Trying to head it and control it. Williamstown, again, the Old Scotch defenders have to get back and have to give it to Lukakas, who thrusts the right boot at it, only as far as Matheson, who traps it cleverly. Gets through one, gets through two, but they can't control it over the sideline.
And that'll do it.
Williamstown are home and into the 6th round of the Dockerty Cup. They've won at home 2-0. It was 0-0 in the first half, and you'd have to say at half-time Old Scotch was the better side. But in the second half, they made some moves. Kant became goalkeeper. Russell went off. He'd been their sole striker, and they brought Arasibia and Matheson, who'd spent the first half on the bench, on as the dual strikers, Ethan, and they scored twice. Matheson first, and then Arasibia put a full stop on this match. And it's Williamstown 2, and they've got over the line comfortably against Old Scotch 0, Ethan.
They certainly have. Though it was a cagey first half and a very tightly fought affair. It was a piece of Matheson magic that got them going, and the cheekiest of Jose Arasibia chips to round it out. Williamstown can wonder about round 6 of the Dockerty Cup for Old Scotch. It ends here on quite the Tuesday night down in Williamstown. Full time, Williamstown 2, Old Scotch 0.